Alright guys, welcome back. So this weekend we're taking a look at MSTR. So this week, pretty volatile week in general in overall market, but today pretty decent bounce from MSTR. So you can say pretty nice reversal off yesterday's sell-off, where pretty much stocks sold off all the way to the 50-day moving average. And also if you zoom out and just take a look at the hourly chart pre-market, this stock probably hit $300. Yeah, almost touched that level, and pretty impressive bounce. But I have made so many videos about this one in the last month or so, ever since it did run away to these levels, $550 levels. And I want to show you one thing, or before we get into the levels of the stock and what I'm watching from here for the stock. Monday, yes, it will be trading in NASDAQ 100, and it will be in QQQ. And Monday, full trading session. Tuesday, Christmas Eve, we're going to close early, half a day probably. And then Wednesday, market is off. Thursday, full day. Friday, full day. So it's going to be pretty slow week, okay? So before I jump into this, I want to show you the IV, where we have kept talking about this one ever since the stock hit those highs on a daily. If you guys remember, when it was talking about option expiration to option expiration, usually stocks don't, like, if stocks run away and come up to this option expiration with very large implied volatility, pay attention to this, where we opened in from November option expiration, where we closed in December option expiration. It's not too much of a difference. I mean, it didn't do much if you consider it from OPEX to OPEX. This is what I call option market shenanigans, where, I mean, they milked the stock weekly, daily, and OPEX to OPEX by pumping the IV. This purple line right here is implied volatility. November 21st, 22nd, you can see it hit breaking 100%. Ever since, it just kept declining up until today. And even today, off that move, IV didn't move much. Yes, your stock was volatile, but you can see who are the winners throughout this month. Basically, OPEX to OPEX month. Okay, if you're options traders, you know what it is. Between the monthlies, where a lot of premium expired, and a lot of premiums were sold far outside of the money puts, far outside of the money calls, and even closer to the money calls. And you can see what the stock price did actually. This green line right here, I mean the blue line, is your stock price action, choppy up and down, while this is what I kept talking about. And a lot of people don't understand when you say IV crush, they think that you're saying that stock is going to come crashing down. No, not at all. That's what happened. So well done, options sellers, if you are one of those, because it's not only institutional traders who do that. Anybody can sell, but those people came out winners, because like people were selling $200 puts, even $150 puts were being sold for crazy money. And if you take a look at January 17th, 2025, let's take a look at $400 strike price. Ever since the stock took off, you can see where it opened, where it closed, the price of that contract. I mean, how come $400 strike price contract, $400 strike contract could trade 1 month out, almost maybe 2 months out, at $200 levels, while stock is only, I mean, in the money, I mean, at that point was what, 150? How's that possible? Or even right here, when stock was way far outside of the money, how could these premiums were trading at these premiums? And again, this is January and it hasn't expired. I'm not talking about December. We can take a look at the December $400 call just to give you an idea how those calls expired and where those people sold those calls. This is $400 strike price that expired today at a penny, okay? And 180 highest uptick, and you can see, like, do you see why there is so much of a volume spike right here? Last maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trading sessions, because this happens to every stock. It's not only MicroStrategy. As expiration date comes closer, the more market make, more people, more funds decide to sell short-term premiums, because it becomes pretty easier to predict ultra short-term price activity versus 2-3 months. But I was very early on, and if you go back, I mean, I have maybe mentioned it multiple times that this stock is going to kill premium and do absolutely nothing until option expiration, and pretty much it will be in a premium burning mode. Millions, billions were accumulated by selling these premiums, and there are a lot of people who bought these. And again, it's not only retail who I am blaming that bought these premiums, but it's even like hedge funds who lost money trying to play this game. So back to MSTR. Yeah, Monday it will be included in Nasdaq 100, and QQQ will start accumulating some shares. And even on that one, there's a lot of arguments. Okay, so go back, take a look at Nasdaq 100 inclusions. You don't have to go too far. Go take a look at last maybe 3-4 years. But I'll just give you a few that I just pulled out on ChatGPT, and this is not an accurate data, but most of these names were included, such as Illumina, which is getting kicked out at its highs. Take a look at Illumina chart, where it was added to Nasdaq 100 and where it's trading right now. Take a look at, and it's getting kicked out. I'm probably this Monday will be kicked out. So it didn't last there too much. Moderna, we know that. Yeah. When was it added and where it's trading, and it's getting kicked out. Okay. Another name, Enphase Energy. Is it still there, or is it already out? So where it was added, at what price it was added, and when it got kicked out of Nasdaq. It's not in Nasdaq 100. Probably last rebalancing, right? Or maybe in this one. Airbnb, Melly, you can go take a look at. Dex.com, Melly maybe doing a little bit better. Cintas, maybe. I mean, this is not as volatile, but 2023, this is probably one of their better inclusions. It's been going parabolic for what, like 2-3 straight years probably. But Dex.com, DXCM, it's not even a flipping coin, okay? When was added to Nasdaq 100? Where is it trading right now? Do that homework. So if you have so much hope or so much excitement about the Nasdaq 100 inclusion, I mean, for me, intrinsically, it's changing absolutely nothing. And the fact that Nasdaq has to buy, I mean, the QQQ has to buy some couple million shares, it's absolutely nothing for the market to absorb. I mean, for them to buy that from the market in a couple days and not even move the stock at all. So this is for those people. I mean, it's nothing to me, okay? And the point with those videos, where it's going to be in the next 2 years, 3 years, again, a lot of people will bring up argument of saying, oh, Bitcoin, even Bitcoin is trading at its all-time highs, okay? So I don't know, you don't know where it's going to trade in the next 2 years, 3 years, Bitcoin as an asset. And of course, MSTR trades at a premium. It doesn't take too much of a move for BTC. You already saw that today in the morning. How much did it pull back actually? It can still pull back actually. Bitcoin pulled back from 108 all the way to 94, 10K or so. And how MSTR was getting punished pretty crazy in the last like 4 trading sessions, and today a little bit of a relief bounce into the option expiration, which is expected because a lot of people closed out their options. But from here, well, I'm not super bullish this stock unless BTC flies. If BTC flies maybe to, I don't know, above that 110 to 120, 130, 130K, 140K, then okay. I do like the idea of a breakout, which is I'm still watching the 370, 410, and $450 resistance levels for the stock. And then probably it can push. But even right here, right now, it is trading at 2x of a premium. And then another thing is dilution, right? The company itself on their SEC filings, every single week they have been coming out for the last 3 weeks straight telling you that, yeah, they have done a couple convertibles, but they have been telling you that, yo, we have still some shares to issue and we will keep doing it. And they're not going to tell you exactly when they're going to do it, but they will keep selling the remaining, $7 billion. So if company is trying to dilute $1.5 billion, $2 billion every quarter, I mean, what does it take for, if they want to dump that many shares, what does it take for QQQ and go talk to MSTR and say like, okay, we know you're doing ATM. We just want to know when you're going to dump those. We'll just absorb it in one order, maybe even. It's not a lot, guys. It's not a lot what QQQ is trying to accumulate or has to accumulate. And it doesn't have to happen in one day or in one sitting, okay? They still have time. But the point is, they can still dump as soon as they see share price go up. Maybe they already did this week as well. And they're going to announce on Monday, this Monday, where you will see the SEC filings, because last time it was December 16th. And then the previous time they did, it was December 9th, and then December 2nd, November 25th. So they were buying Bitcoin every single week, right? So I'm not going to be surprised if they dumped it throughout this week, and then they're going to announce that they bought a little bit more, and then they will sell more because they know they have to do it now, or the company's stock is trading at almost 2x of a BTC premium. Because if I was the CEO, I would be like, sell as much as you can. Sell as long as this market can absorb whatever we are trying to dump. Because I don't want to dump into the dull market. I want to dump into the liquidity. I want to dump into the volume. So volume is there. So $7.2 billion of issuance remaining. And if it's not a dilution to you, I mean, I don't know what it is. But keep that in mind. So my take going forward, this stock is not going to do much unless Bitcoin runs. Unless it makes new all-time high and keeps rising rapidly, this stock is not going to go take out its all-time highs. Yes, low volume next week. It can try to melt. A lot of options expired. But for January 15th, we still have, if I take a look at the max pain for January 17th, 165. I don't think it's going to close there. But next week, December 27th, max pain looks like $315. And I'm not saying that it's going to close there, but there's a lot of calls that needs to expire worthless, and there's a lot of puts need to expire worthless. And if there's a toggle war like this, market usually does chop. And next week, I mean, a lot of people are expecting some sort of a Christmas rally. We shall see. But usually market tries to do the max damage, especially on stocks that have been volatile. And if you think that this stock will just absorb all this volume and then get to all-time highs by the end of the year, I don't think it's happening. But a lot of options expired. Now it can move freely a little bit until next big option expiration, which is January 17th. So that's what I'm watching for MSTR. I did not want to make this video too long, but if you're somebody who trades options, I mean, if you're trading selling it, I mean, I think it will remain that way. People will keep milking this name, premium, up and down. I know IV has come down, but as soon as it spikes a little bit, people will be in an IV selling mode again. Because, I mean, even today, people were selling. If you take a look at the put to call ratio, it's not standing out. As stock went higher, maybe more people sold calls, but put to call ratio, it's not that crazy. 450,000 calls traded, 344,000 puts traded. And if you take a look at it, where they were executed, which delta was traded the most, you can see 0 to 20 delta, 210K for calls, 202K for puts. These are sells. This is milking going on again. But if you don't understand options, you probably didn't understand anything in this video. But that's the video for MSTR. In terms of price action, we can come. Maybe I'll talk about this one once before Christmas if I have time. But after Christmas, we'll take a look at it, what it does. But next week, pretty slow week. Despite this stock getting included in NASDAQ 100. It's not going to do much. So that's my take for MSTR. That's what I'm watching. See you in the next one. Take care. Peace.